Alright! You shooting?
Yeah, it's recording.
Hi guys, this is Athene, Reese, and Frederik. I bet some people remember him. He is a scientist, a quantum theorist, or just a theoretical physicist that is gonna get his PhD this month.
PhD.
And since we're talking about a few topics that are a bit scientifically, you know, we thought we can't do it without Frederik. What we're gonna talk today about is free will.
Free will.
Free will.
Frederik, do we have free will?
It's subjective.
Is it subjective? Like, what does science say about free will? Do we have free will, or are we fundamentally, everything is deterministic, our choices are all already like made and everything, and we just have a feeling of free will, but it doesn't exist? Is there free will or not scientifically?
So let's say that science leaves it open to some extent, but what science tells us is that everything is probabilistic, right? You know this. At the quantum, at the microscopic level, you cannot know anything for sure. At the macroscopic level, it becomes somehow deterministic. So maybe at first you would say, okay, that seems deterministic, so it means
we can predict everything and everything's set in stone, pretty much.
yes.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you have at the quantum level, everything is probabilistic, so this would mean the inverse. We can do whatever we want, we have full free will, but actually one doesn't exclude the other.
So how does that work? It's almost like a politician answering the question. Says yes and no. Like, do we have free will? Yes or no? Like, that's what they want to hear. Like, what does science say?
So let me make some allegory. Imagine you have a mountain, right? We put some water on top of the mountain. What is sure is that the water will reach ground.
It will flow down.
It will flow down. So at some point it will reach lower ground. You don't know how. So that's the probabilistic nature. I mean, it can go straight down, it can wind up, it can go round and round and down. But in the end, it will reach lower ground.
So basically what you're saying is the fact we're gonna die is deterministic, but our life, the way to it...
I'm just saying it leaves some room for interpretation. So for example, if you want, you can believe that some things are more or less fixed in the world or in your lives, but that the way, the paths to it are a bit flexible. So you could say that some major events are like deterministic, or some major events in your life, some lines to some extent could be deterministic, but how you reach it could be free will. I'm not saying this is how it is, but there is lots of room for it.
So basically, like, from a scientific sense, there is no evidence whether we have free will or not.
No.
For the people that don't know, he is top notch. You have experimental physicists and you have theoretical physicists. Theoretical physicists are really the ones that really study the maths.
We are the base.
Yeah, they are the base. So he knows his shit. So when he says like stuff, he says things that if I read on the Wikipedia is almost outdated compared to the information he has. He even knew when the Higgs boson came out, even before it was news.
He did.
It was top
We heard
secret,
it from him first. We were not allowed to say it.
It was top secret though. But
Top secret.
Top secret, but he knows the shit when it comes down to free will. Maybe like there is no such a thing that there is like some kind of, you know, some lab at CERN or whatever where they're testing free will or something. There is no.
Unfortunately, no. It would
No?
be cool. Maybe we can propose for such a lab.
Do you have any more questions?
Well, I think a basic question that a lot of people will ask, that a lot of people like would come to their mind was, okay, so things are probabilistic in quantum mechanics, things are deterministic on all macroscopic levels. Doesn't that sort of then imply that our consciousness has free will, since, you know, we are all just electrons bouncing around in our brain, and so those electrons are probabilistically behaving in some respect? Or would you already say there, no, you know what, even that will be pretty macroscopic in behavior?
So brain, this is neurons,
Right.
and this is not microscopic, but it's not macroscopic.
Right, it's hard to say.
So it's mesoscopic.
So
There's a word for it, yeah, it's mesoscopic.
So what do you say about that? Do you say like, oh, well, you know, there are levels of probability in terms of what's going on in your brain, so maybe you have a point there? Or do you say like, you know, it's a bit of a stretch.
if we look at some molecular systems, so molecular systems, these are mesoscopic, right? So in general, they are quite deterministic, but quantum effects, they can propagate into the mesoscopic scale. So you have some some small probabilistic effect. So if we would like use this idea in our brain, say okay, it's mesoscopic scale, we could say okay, we have some deterministic behavior which is with some small quantum perturbations, some probabilistic effects. I mean, it's an idea, right? It's porting the idea of small physics.
Since we're on the layer of quantum mechanics, like there's a lot of quantum quackery when it comes down to consciousness and psychology and philosophy and stuff. Let's ask the scientists, like...
Okay, Frederik, give all those people who are dying to hear it from you, law of attraction, the secret, bullshit, or fact?
Law of attraction?
Law of attraction. So, The Secret is a very, very popular...
He doesn't even know that shit.
It's a very popular movie and book.
Okay.
And the main idea is that if you can will it, if you can focus your mental energy or your spiritual energy on it enough, the universe will conspire to bring you, to manifest for you what you want or what you desire the most.
And like it also has to do with quantum entanglement.
Yeah, because the thing is,
okay, so
right.
Let's be honest. We scientists have tried to hide this for you.
I knew it. I knew it.
Damn, man.
But that's what they say in The Secret, by the way.
No, I mean, just use your brain, people. Use your brain.
Use your brain. Okay, so
I mean, literally, come on.
But the thing is, literally, yeah. You know, like you make an interesting point there, because when someone tries to argue with us that The Secret is real, and we say it's not, we kind of say like the fact that we're saying it's not kind of debunks it, because if you were right, you could will us into actually complying. But anyway, that aside, the thing is, one of the crucial aspects of The Secret is something where they say something like, yeah, but in quantum mechanics, it is proven that the observer effect influences reality. Therefore, the brain, our will, our beliefs
can make the collapse, can decide how things collapse.
Okay, so but rule number one, what is microscopic remains microscopic. What is macroscopic remains macroscopic. Quantum effects remain microscopic.
But maybe the brain has like since it's mesoscopic.
Universe is macroscopic.
But the brain, maybe since it's mesoscopic.
So you can with the secret is you can wield your own brain with your brain. Microscopic remains microscopic.
Right. But
you didn't convince them yet. Now they actually have an argument. Like, hey.
Yeah. Like, look at microscopic. What if my mental powers in terms of law of attraction are so powerful that I can make so many microscopic changes manifested in the real world that it results in macroscopic results?
Yeah. Prove it.
Prove it. That's his. I think that's a very good answer. He's a scientist. That's how he looks at things. Prove it. Me, myself, and Athene are not the biggest fans of the law of attraction. We're just asking questions to see if, you know.
I want to say something about free will, though.
Okay.
What do you believe?
What I explained is what I believe. I believe that there is some deterministic part in life. That some parts in life, no, let's say in the universe, that some motion of some things that happen are like general lines, like general tendencies, and that there is free will to like diverge from it. So imagine you have a mountain again with water, but you have like some kind of preformed river bank. You fill the water. If you don't do anything, it will follow this path, right? But then you could like resist. You could like make cuts, make some dams in it. But in the end, it will go down anyway. You cannot stop it. If I would believe in fate, it would be in this way. Like you have some lines, you can struggle, but in the end,
you have a lot of neuroscientists that say that we don't have a choice because awareness takes place after we made the choice. When they track the brain with like all those things, they see that we make a choice and we only become aware of it after we made it. Therefore, our awareness has nothing to do with the choice we made. What do you think about that?
So you mean, like, they say that like making a choice is some kind of instinct, and afterwards like you realize what
it's almost like a subconscious process, no matter what.
So the point with neuroscience is that it's not the same kind of science like physics. I mean, it's like studying an iceberg only by seeing its tip. which is above the water, right? So they have small parts which I understand, and they have lots which they don't. They combine stuff and they draw conclusions, but it's difficult to make hard arguments from it. So I
like
would
it's
say
an empirical science, I think.
but it's a strong empirical.
Right, of course.
Because you know from the beginning that you're missing stuff.
Yeah.
If I drop an apple from the ground and I measure the speed, I'm not missing really a lot of stuff. It's just inaccurate, right? But from this, you know already, you only have some parts. They have some brain waves they can measure and stuff, some spots they see, but they know it's like only a really small picture. So
I want to ask you a crazy
to draw
question.
like exclusive conclusions is no.
Is it possible that just as much as quantum particles can go back in time and forward, they can jump back in time and forward? That's true. Like, is this true? Like, there is certain particles that actually go back in time and can move back and forward in time.
At real like Heisenberg level, let's say they could do anything, right? So okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like, is it possible that your consciousness behaves in a similar way and time within like a very small interval does not really so basically whether your awareness comes afterwards or before it, like even if we measure it with a smaller device, it doesn't really like
I get your point. So there is no real definition of time in this interval.
Yes.
So then the question is, why does it always show up as the awareness after?
In measurements.
Yeah. So if there is like no really defined time, why this ordering? Why not half of them with awareness first and half of them with awareness after it?
Because maybe their measurements are very rudimentary and they will always see an origin in certain parts of the brain.
But then you don't need the theory of small time interval, because then it can be just faulty the way they have the measurement.
Yeah.
Maybe your brain does it intentionally to trick neurologists.
The reason why it would always be like that, it's because you're absorbing it from outside. You're using measurement devices that are outside the experience. It's relative to the experience that time doesn't matter, but outside it, when you take it from a more...
Okay, but still the question, why is it
an arrow of time for a measurement outside the consciousness?
And so why does it order in this direction? Huh? Why does the awareness come after the
awareness that comes afterwards still like influences the decision you made before? And the reason why it does that is because it expresses itself.
Okay. You are saying that at a local level, inside your brain, microscopic level, there is no real ordering in time.
Indeed.
Right? Okay. But then is the question, okay, so I understand that when it goes out, it becomes subject to the exterior, like macroscopic, where there is some nice time ordering.
Yes.
But then is the question, why does it always order in this way?
Because you're always measuring it from a microscopic.
No, but why does it always order like awareness last? What's the process behind the translation from microscopic to macroscopic, which makes that awareness comes last?
You could say that since the awareness is a much more broad and complicated process in the brain, it will always take more time to measure any changes in that, and it takes less time to measure smaller, more responsive changes. Then therefore,
because awareness requires a bigger
you will
interval.
always measure it later, even though
yeah. Because awareness requires a bigger interval.
Okay, so this could be, for example, an explanation. Yeah.
But would that be scientifically possible, that you have certain things express itself in a bigger interval, like mainly based on consciousness that science does not fully understand and could possibly be the bridge between microscopic and macroscopic? Because that's always something that I've been thinking and pondering, like maybe it's consciousness in the brain that is actually the bridge between microscopic and macroscopic things, or is that a little bit cray-cray?
This could be, I mean...
But yeah, like everything can.
Yeah, I mean, at that level, everything can be. Yeah. The point about neurology is what I said, you have the tip of the iceberg. This means, from a pure theoretical scientific point of view, there is no conclusive test. Never. Unless you get more understanding of the brain.
Right, it's just statistics.
You have an effect which is due to some really small part that you are able to measure. So maybe you're just totally misinterpreting because you don't have all data.
Yeah.
So you never have a conclusive test. So whatever you're going to make a really like nice perfect test, it will never be conclusive. You won't be able to prove anything. It's more like indications, because maybe afterwards you see total picture and it's totally different.
So basically, to summary, the answer to a free will is we don't know.
No, we don't know.